This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now, I am so excited for tonight's show because I will be talking to Carol Jones. Yes, you remember Carol Jones. She was such a familiar face on TV back in the 70s and 80s. Oh my god. You know, she was in the Supernatural TV movie of the week, The Possessed, with another guest of mine, PJ Souls. And so many people, when they were just starting out, Dinah Manhoff, Ann Dusenberry, Harrison Ford, James Valentino, of course, was the star of that. And she guest starred on everything from Charlie's Angels to the $6 Million Man. She played the lead in Francesca Baby, an ABC After School special. She was on a very memorable episode of Family with Christy McNichol, where she was a teenage alcoholic. She was in the TV horror movie with Tom Skerritt, Maneaters Are Loose. She did a lot of great stuff, and we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff tonight. And you know, she's from the Bay Area. She's from my neck of the woods. You know, she was. I guess you know she's born in Redwood City. I'm going to find out if she was raised there. You know, I'm born in Redwood City at Kaiser Hospital, and it's going to make for an interesting conversation tonight. It's my third interview today. I am just so exhausted and still thinking about the bullshit. You know, of Kristen's death and you know whatnot. That you know this is a pleasant distraction, and I'm so glad that I'm given these opportunities even in times of tragedy, you know, the BG song. So yeah, here is my interview with Carol Jones. So how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm glad it's Friday.
Yeah, aren't we all? Aren't we all? I can't tell you what a great honor this is. Thank you so much for taking the time tonight.
Oh, gosh, no, thank you. The honor is mine.
Absolutely. So, going back in time, did you gravitate toward acting early on in your childhood?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. I was performing for my father on our we made ourselves a little stage next to the fireplace.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I know exactly what that is because I used to perform for the family after dinner, and I would go right in front,
Yep.
right in front of the fireplace, and I would just put on imaginary Saturday Night Live sketches or
Well, there you
imitate anything I saw on TV.
go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you started there, but then did you get involved in school plays and community theater?
Yes. Yeah. I was involved from junior high. My junior high teacher decided that I had promised, so she took me to see Fiddler on the Roof when I was in junior high at the Pasadena Playhouse, and then I went into high school, and we had a teacher. His name was Mr. Raleigh.
Uh-huh.
And his great teacher was a student of Stanislavski.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I had leads in school plays. Yes. Then I went into college, and I went for theater, UCLA.
So
2 years at Cal State Northridge and 2 years at UCLA.
But are you born and raised in Redwood City?
No, born in Redwood City. We moved to Los Angeles when I was 8.
Okay.
And and I've been an Angelino ever since.
Yeah, I'm born in Redwood City at Kaiser Hospital and raised in San Mateo in the Shoreview area. And my mom grew up with the actor Dennis Haysbert. They've known each other since kindergarten. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean that part of the Bay Area, the peninsula, it's got a lot of showbiz history. A lot of people came from there.
Yeah, well, I spent my first 8 years in Palo Alto.
Wow. And was the Palo Alto Players there yet?
Yeah, I was like 2. I was on the stage. Somewhere I have a picture of myself with a tambourine in my hand, kind of going like, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah. Yeah, I did some concession volunteering for the Palo Alto Players years ago, and they're a great little troupe, you know. I mean, they still got the old, building that's pretty much like a rec center building. Yeah. So, which college did you go to again?
2 years at Cal State University Northridge,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2 years at UCLA, where I got my bachelor's.
Okay, yeah, a lot of people went to UCLA. Did you have any classmates that we would know?
Well, from Cal State Northridge, Deborah Winger, Charles Martin Smith.
Yep.
But I don't recall anybody from UCLA.
Because I know 2 people that would have been there the same time as you, Wally Ann Wharton and Larry Matthews from the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh, wow. No.
Yeah, I just had him on last week, and he was telling me about going there at that time. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like right after high school, that's when you immediately started working professionally?
No, right after high school, I went to college.
Oh, okay.
But right after college, well, I graduated from high school at 16.
Okay.
So and my parents decided to go to Australia.
Nice. What was Australia like in those days?
It was. I think it was pretty much like the way it is now. But I didn't live there.
Mm-hmm.
My parents left me in Los Angeles at age 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was at the time.
I'm the youngest of 4, and my older siblings were living with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was at the time when Frank Sinatra had a beef with Australia. He went there and he insulted them. It was a big story. Wow. Yeah.
No, my dad was working in Woomera. He was one of the people who were looking at the satellites going around and tracking satellites.
Tracking satellites. That was probably a pioneering medium at the time.
Yeah, I would think. He didn't talk much about what he was doing. Mm-hmm. It was kind of hush hush.
Hush hush, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
but
that.
I went to visit them one time. Boy, I tell you, Woomera is way out there in the middle. It's it's in South Australia. If you look at the map of Australia, like the United States, mm-hmm. and there's a little indentation at the bottom. Mm-hmm. Woomera is up from the center of the indentation at the bottom from Adelaide, if you've ever heard of it.
I haven't heard of it, no, but yeah, it sounds like there's a reason they call that place Down Under.
Yeah, it was amazing. The stars are just outrageous, so beautiful and so unfamiliar. You look up at the stars and you expect to see the Big Dipper, and it just is not there.
Yeah. And also, too, I mean, there's so much music history in Australia. I just interviewed an Australian music historian, and just like, wow, I never realized there were so many great musicians that came from there.
Yeah. Not to mention all of the great actors who come from there.
Well, of course, so all the ones you see now, like Russell Crowe, isn't he from there?
Yes.
Yeah. Lots of...
And originally Mel Gibson, who was American but was stationed in Australia, and then Nicole Kidman, and of course the brothers Chris and Thor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Christian
Yeah.
Bale.
No.
Oh, no,
He's from
no.
England.
Oh, okay.
Hemsworth. The Hemsworth brothers.
Hemsworth.
The three
Yeah.
of them. They're all
Hemsworth.
from Australia.
Wow. So then you come back to the States. You make your TV debut in the after-school special, Francesca Baby.
Actually, I got my SAG card from Policewoman.
Oh, okay.
That'll put you back there.
Yeah. I've actually seen this episode of Policewoman. Yeah, that you play a hippie girl, and
Yep.
another guest of mine, Megan King, played just a boy in that episode.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that episode?
I remember it was the first time on a set,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt very comfortable.
Yeah.
And Charles Deercup was really nice.
Oh,
I didn't
God.
work with Angie Dickinson, but they were all very nice. I'm really, really lucky
Mm-hmm.
because there are so many people who say that they've had some bad experiences.
Right.
I've always worked with first class people.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a
Always
lot lately.
professionally and nice and
Mhm.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Charles Deercup, he's still alive and kicking. I've been trying to get him on the show for a while. Hopefully it'll happen this year. But, yeah, he's a very talented man.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Francesca Baby, though, I mean, were you comfortable playing the lead so early in your career?
It didn't seem difficult. It
Mhm.
didn't seem like it was unusual. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
I just looked right in there. And, but afterwards it was, what was really neat because the Disney company
Mhm.
decided to distribute it. And we were taken to the studios and introduced to people, and it was really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, plus by that point you probably had done a lot of theater, so you probably was
Oh, yeah.
comfortable in that way too. Had you played the lead on stage before?
Oh, always. Should I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Always. I always got the leads.
Yeah, and Melody Britt, she was probably like 10 or 12 years older than you playing your mom, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It-
Yeah, she's a
Crazy.
very successful voiceover woman now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she did
I knew that.
she was the voice of She-Ra back in the 80s on the He-Man cartoon.
Oh, I have some friends who are really in with the, like Paul St. Peter. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
he's a good friend of the family.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Did they let you keep your schoolgirl uniform?
I've never stolen anything off a set. Not that you could tell.
Yeah. That's what I hear all the time. A lot of people never got to keep their wardrobe.
Oh, no.
You did a $6 Million Man, the Bionic Boy,
Yeah.
that episode was called.
Two episodes of The $6 Million Man.
Yeah.
It was back-to-back in Kanab, Utah.
Wow.
With Joan Van Ark
Yep.
and
Red.
I can't. Red. He was. Yeah, look him up.
I'll look it up.
He was a character. He was one of the $6 Million Man.
Oh, Red West. Yeah.
West.
Yeah, Red West.
Yeah, he was one of his sidekicks, his followers. He had stories about Elvis because he was one of Elvis' bodyguards.
I'm sure with a name like Red. Yeah, I'm sure he was one of Elvis's bodyguards. Let's see, Greg Evigan. That was long before BJ and the Bear.
Yeah, Greg Evigan.
Yeah, was he a nice guy?
Not recently, but yeah, the nicest.
Uh-huh.
The nicest. I worked on a movie that his daughter was in.
Okay.
Called the Blood Ransom.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, his daughter was in it, and we kind of went like this as far as when it was the premiere.
Yeah.
I heard that he was there, and I thought, it would have been nice to connect with him, but I never did. It was just like,
Yeah. And also
we missed each other.
And also Frank Gifford was in that episode.
Yep. The other thing about it is Vince Van Patten, who was the Bionic Boy.
Yeah.
I worked with his father on 8 is Enough, Dick Van Patten. I worked with his mother on this terrible movie that had this incredible cast called Maneaters Are Loose.
Yep. That's one I was going to ask you about, too.
Oh, my God. What a cast.
Yeah, Tom Skerritt.
Tom Skerritt. I mean, having lunch with these people, I just kind of, oh, my God, look at all these people. Have you ever heard of the Oracle of Bacon?
It sounds slightly familiar.
Yeah, you go through Kevin Bacon to find out how many you're away from a person. Well, I got through the Oracle of Bacon to so many of these people. Henry Morgan. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Anyway, what a great cast on this very, very stinker of a movie.
Yeah, there's a story out there that you almost lost your foot while you were up a tree.
Well, not quite, but they tried to get the tiger interested. They tried. They really, really, really did. And finally they said, well, we haven't been able to get the tiger interested in the tree. But would you get up in the tree anyway?
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Sure.
Oh.
No, but I did. Yeah. I figured, what is it? I'll tell my grandchildren about it. And so I got up into the tree, and they hung up the bag that was supposed to be my backpack on the tree.
Yeah.
And they took the ladder away. And then I was up in the tree, and I was they let the tiger go, and it was into the enclosure. I mean, this was all in an enclosure with greens all over it and everything, and the tiger bounds around the enclosure, just really happy to be out of the cage, right?
Yeah.
So they had, like, I don't know how many cameras. They had one on me, and then they had, I think, 3 in the enclosure to catch. I'll go camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, and the director. Great direction here. The director goes, Carol, emote. Well, I'm acting up a storm here. I'm going.
Yeah.
And they go, say something. And I just kind of went, can I yell? And they said, yeah, sure, yell. And I started yelling, help me, please. Somebody help me, please. And the tiger stops and looks up the tree.
Yeah.
And it bound up the tree and took the bag and brought it down and shook it and went right back into its cage. And I'm sitting there going, that was really me in the tree with the tiger, really the tiger. They didn't tell me they put a bunch of meat in the bag.
Oh, God. Well, they need a trap. They need to lure him. Yeah.
So I have that.
Another actor I interviewed was in that, Harry Northup.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was in all of Scorsese's early movies, like the first decade, and then they kind of cut ties. Oh. But we didn't talk about this one. I remember him and I were on a time limit, but that's a great cast: G.D. Spradlin, Harry Morgan, Dabney Coleman. Wow.
Yeah.
And our local creature feature show plays it now, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm scared. Oh my goodness.
How was guest starring on Charlie's Angels?
Well, that was interesting.
People have told me like they loved watching the show, but then working on the show was a whole nother story.
Well, the part was it was kind of a nothing part, just hi little kid, how are you? Come into my car. Let's take you to the beach because I know I'm going to the beach and you want to go to the beach, and okay, all right, I'll take you in my car. And driving this wonderful Mustang, this red convertible Mustang.
Yeah.
And but before that, I got there early to get my makeup and all of this stuff done, and Jacqueline Smith was there, and Kate
Jackson
was there, and then this car drives into the sound stage.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Farrah Fawcett coming in. She not really happy, not happy at all, because she doesn't have a parking spot.
Yeah.
And this show was making them millions, and she didn't have a parking spot.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this entire conversation in the dressing room about not having a parking spot.
Oh my God!
But Kate Jackson was a real pro. I had a little scene with her in the background while Farrah and Jacqueline Smith were talking in the foreground. But she was right there. She was asking me questions that made sense, and I was answering, and it was nice. It was nice. It's like I said. They were high class. These were high class people.
Did you have a scene with Lee Bryant? She was the
mother.
Yeah, the U-Band coffee lady.
Oh my God, the one from Airplane.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I didn't have a scene with her, but she was there.
Yeah.
And when you look at Airplane and what she was doing on that. It's so talented. She's so talented.
Yeah, just the way she plays that loony, conservative housewife type, and I've talked to her. She's a great lady and she's very liberal, but just playing that kind of a character, she's so good at it.
That's so fun. So funny.
So was The Possessed a standard audition for you?
The Possessed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
it was. That was quite the cast too.
Harrison Ford, he's the bookworm teacher, and he's screwing Ann Dusenberry's character.
Yeah.
James Ferrantino, of course. I mean, he was a TV star at the time, and my good friend PJ Souls, who I adore, and Dinah Manhoff. Yeah.
What a group! And that was a week in Salem, Oregon.
Yeah.
On location, and so much fun.
Yeah.
I found out later. I found out later that Dinah Manoff and I were supposed to be different. We were supposed to have switched parts.
Oh, yeah.
But it didn't make any difference. We were all schoolgirls.
Yeah. PJ told me,
About
she said she had just done Carrie, and she's like, why am I doing the same movie but in a Catholic school?
Yeah. Yeah. And Jerry Thorpe, who I found out later, directed a lot of I Love Lucy's when he was really young.
Yeah. Yeah, he did, actually. And John Sickert Young, who wrote it, went on to do China Beach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That I wasn't aware of. Yeah.
Yeah. You wear that football jersey, when you all girls are, like, talking before bed and everything.
That football jersey belonged to my boyfriend.
Really? Was your boyfriend in show business?
He was no. He was no. He was a center at Granada Hills High.
Wow. You did a Columbo. That must have been hilarious to be around Peter Falk playing that guy.
That was great. Peter Falk was wonderful. Somewhere in my stuff, I have a sketch of me done by Peter Falk on a piece of legal pad.
Wow, he was an artist?
Oh yeah, he was an artist. And the other thing was Kenneth Mars.
I just interviewed his daughter the other day, and she is such a great lady, and she's got so much good stories about her dad.
The first time I met him was at a delicatessen, and I hadn't worked with him yet, and I came up to him and I said, Mr. Mars, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt your meal, but I just wanted to tell you how much I loved your work and how much you've given to me. And he said, honey, never worry about interrupting somebody's meal. We're not in it for the anonymity.
Yeah, that sounds like something he'd say. Yeah, that is wonderful. Yeah. Next time I talk to her, I'll tell her the story. I think she would be just delighted to hear that. Samantha Eggar was in that episode. I heard she was a little standoffish.
I didn't work with him.
How about Jamie Lee?
I was with all of the people. Thea Bickel, though. I worked with Thea Bickel.
How about Jamie Lee Curtis? She plays the waitress in that.
I found that out later.
Yeah.
No, I never worked with her. That's really funny. It's kind of, which one of us is going to be that part? That's another one of those things.
Yeah, she was a contract player at Universal, just like her dad was in the 50s, but she was doing the TV shows at Universal.
Oh, the other thing about that one was Sam Wanamaker was the director.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and Sam Wanamaker, this is a long story.
Go ahead.
Sam Wanamaker and Thad Taylor made the Globe Playhouse in North Hollywood. No, West Hollywood. West Hollywood. And I was married there.
Nice.
At the Globe. But later on, I went to England and found out that Sam Wanamaker, an American, was instrumental in making the new Globe Playhouse. He went over there to England, and he wanted to visit the Globe Playhouse, but it had been torn down, 100 years ago or something like that.
Wow. And
there wasn't even a plaque that said where it was. So he got together all these people and all this money, and over many, many years, he made a new Globe Playhouse, a full-size Globe Playhouse in England. Mm-hmm. And so I'm walking around this Globe Playhouse, and there's a picture of Sam Wanamaker on the wall, life-size picture of Sam Wanamaker on the wall, and I'm going, he directed me in Columbo.
Yeah. Yeah, he also directed Lancer, which became the bassist for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Quentin Tarantino movie.
Ah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, Nicholas
Going in
Handman
on an audition
him.
for that?
I'm sorry?
For Columbo? Going in on an audition for Columbo?
Oh, yeah.
I was sure I wasn't going to get the part. I absolutely positive I wasn't going to get the part. But I'm an actress, so I dressed the part. Wearing this little girl's dress and and knee socks and God, I think I was 28 at the time.
Yeah.
And so I went in, and you know who was in the waiting room? Eve Plum.
Eve Plum from the Brady Bunch, Jan.
From the Brady Bunch, and I'm sitting there going, she's got it.
Yeah.
She's got it. I got nothing to lose here, you know?
Yeah.
So I went in and I gave my reading and I got the part.
Yeah, because they only saw her as Jan.
I guess. She wasn't dressed up or, whatever. I don't know. Maybe they liked the fact that I put it out there.
Yeah. I mean, unless you were really good friends with a producer on another show, it was hard for, someone who was so identifiable from one show to be on another, So it's probably only natural that you would get the part instead of her,
Maybe.
Yeah. You did a really great episode of Family where you play Buddy's old friend who's a teenage alcoholic, and you replaced Kim Richards, I was reading.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that for that audition, I crawled on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Making believe that I was that drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the floor, literally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how many actresses would do that.
You'd be surprised. I've heard crazy audition stories. My favorite is Danny DeVito. He goes into the Taxi audition. He takes the script, throws it on the floor, and says, "Okay, who wrote this piece of shit?" And everybody started laughing for 5 minutes, and they were like, "You got it."
Danny DeVito. Oh my God. We went to my husband, God rest his soul, and I went to a preview of the Sunshine Boys with Danny DeVito and Judd Hirsch as the Sunshine Boys.
Yeah.
And they gave us complimentary tickets, so we're over on the far audience right-hand side, and they start in and they're talking and doing the whole thing, and my husband and I, we got all of the showbiz jokes. Mm-hmm. And we were just rolling, just laughing.
It's one of the funniest plays ever, I have to say.
And pretty soon I noticed that they were playing to us. They had sort of adjusted their blocking so that they would play to Tony and I over on the far right-hand side. Mm-hmm. We had such a good time. It was Danny DeVito, so great. So great.
Can we hurry up and rehearse this sketch? My clothes are beginning to stink from this apartment. I love that play. Neil Simon was just the most fantastic writer there ever was.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I love that Family episode. And Christy McNichol, I met her a month before the pandemic at a Comic-Con. She was a sweetheart. Was she great to work with?
Yeah. She was great. She was a lot younger than I, though.
Yeah, like you were like, what, 23 and she was like 14 or something?
Or, yeah, 15. Yeah.
Yeah, and Tracy Savage played Sandy in that episode. I'm going to be interviewing her soon. She's great. She's a journalist
Oh,
now.
Gary Frank
Gary Frank, yep.
went to my high school.
Wow.
Came and visited our class while he was doing something, you know?
Did you go to Hollywood High?
No, I went to Granada.
Oh, okay. Oh, Granada Hills, that's right.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
got,
that was that we had a good group in our drama class. It was more like a workshop because Mr. Raleigh didn't like to teach.
mhm.
He just gave us about 10 minutes worth of lecture, and then he said, "Get on the stage and act."
Mhm.
And that's what we did.
You played the girl in front of the theater in American Hot Wax. That's a great movie.
It's a small part, but yeah, that was a week on set, going from it was all night shoot,
Hmm.
and just
The director was Floyd Mutrix,
uh-huh.
and Tim McIntyre was Alan Freed. And
Yes.
let's see, a couple people I know are in this. Melanie Chardoff, and I know Jay Leno has a small part in it.
And Lorraine Newman.
And Lorraine Newman, yep, she was doing SNL at the time.
And
Oh, Fran Drescher, she's in it too.
oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep. Moosey Dreyer, who was a child actor. Jeff Altman, great comedian.
Jeff Altman. Jeff Altman. Now, I saw a lot of him on the set.
Hmm. Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
He was doing the Wendy's commercials at that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You were a contestant on the Match Game.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So did you ever win anything?
I was on the Match Game.
Yeah.
No, I was a guest celebrity
But you never won anything.
from the. I won a week.
Yeah.
They paid, and it was fun. Gene Rayburn.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, you're on there with Charles Nelson Riley, Dick Martin.
Yeah, I was on there when I was on The Young and the Restless.
Yeah, and Brett Summers and Freddie Flagg and Joe Santos. Wow.
They were fun. They were fun. Brett Summers, fun. Charles Nelson Riley, hilarious.
Oh God,
Hilarious.
that was back in the day when game shows were so bawdy. Now they're just boring and cleaned up.
Yeah, and it's oh, I'm gonna have to go.
Oh my God.
My grandson is calling.
Okay.
Okay. Wonderful to talk to you.
It was wonderful to talk to you too. By the way, I loved the Greatest American Hero episodes you were on. And
Oh yeah.
do you have anything upcoming you'd like to plug?
Let's see. Nothing for sure.
Nothing for sure, but you're still in the game.
No,
You're still
it's
acting.
to come.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
I'm still doing a little acting. Yeah.
that is so wonderful. I'm so glad that you're blessed with your grandchildren and everything. And I hope you have a great rest of your night and be safe out there.
You too. Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Thank you so much, Carol. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Carol Jones, ain't she a sweetheart? Wow, I expected that interview to go a little bit longer, but hey, we got enough information and stuff, and her energy was great, but then, God, those damn grandkids, you never know what's going to happen, and it's okay. We got enough, and it was great talking to her. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes!